Welcome back, my friends. It is time for one more instrument family discussion. And this time we've made it to the end. It is our last instrument family, which is the percussion family. Let's dive right in. Percussion instruments can be played in only 3 different ways. The player must either hit, scrape, or shake the instrument to make a sound. Just think about that. Hit, scrape, or shake. We're going to start with one part of the percussion family which have indefinite pitch, or described as untuned percussion, meaning that when you play the instrument, the note that you get is not really a note, it's just a sound. It would, like if you play a piano and you play one of the notes, it has a letter, G, F sharp, D. These untuned percussion don't play specific notes. The first small family of percussion instruments we're going to talk about are called membranophones because they have a skin. So think about almost every single drum. There's a skin on the top of the instrument. Another name for skin is membrane. The first and probably most common to you membranophone is the snare drum. Let's watch a video of someone playing the snare drum. Some snazzy drumstick trickery going on there. A snare drum, you can hear, makes that kind of like popping sound because on the bottom of the instrument are these snares here. And when you play the drum on the top, the vibrations that you make when you hit the drum cause these snares to actually vibrate or pop against the bottom of the drum, creating that very specific snare drum sound. So let's go on to the next membranophone here, which is much bigger. This is the bass drum. Now, since this instrument is so big, the surface area of the drum head is so large, you have to play it with these big woolly beaters. If you played it with drumsticks, you could either puncture the drum head or it just wouldn't sound that great. So let's watch another marching band here that aren't marching, they're just standing still. Skip. Is when they play all at the same time. Okay, so let's go on to instruments that don't have a drum skin on them, and they are called idiophones. And this is a huge number of percussion instruments. So think of anything in the percussion family that doesn't have a drum head on it, a skin on it, that's going to be an idiophone. So like these cymbals here, a gong, a triangle. Use your imagination. Speaking of the gong, let's watch a video of the world's largest gong.
And we have the 80-inch Peisty gong, which they actually measured, and this one turns out to be more like 84 inches. We want to give you a demo of a couple of the sounds here. You need a really big heavy mallet to get this much metal moving. So here's just a hit in the center. You get more of a focused sort of tone. Now, unfortunately, it's 80 inches, so most sound systems aren't going to get that bottom end sound, but you get sort of the effect. If we move out more towards the edge, we're going to get more crash into it.
if you notice how hard that guy hit that instrument to get that much sound, not very hard. So there is the gong. Let's keep going. Okay, so we have a few more idiophones here. We have the woodblock, claves, and castanets. Maybe some of you have played some of these instruments in your music classes before. Now, that brings us to the other type of percussion instruments. These are tuned percussion, meaning that when you play the instrument, you're playing specific notes. The instrument that we're probably most familiar with are xylophones. So these ones, we say they play definite pitch. So they're specific notes, just like a piano or a xylophone. So we call that tuned percussion. There is one membranophone that is a tuned percussion instrument, and this is called the timpani. So they are large drums because they have skins. They are membranophones, and they have definite pitch. The pitch on the timpani is actually adjusted with a foot pedal. So you press down with your foot, and the farther down you press, the higher the note gets. And when you roll your foot back, the pitch gets lower. These drums are often called kettle drums because they're actually made out of a big copper kettle. Let's watch a video of the timpani. This one's called Pedal to the Kettle. There you have it, the timpani. So let's get on to keyboard percussion. So it's called keyboard percussion because these instruments are modeled after keyboard instruments like the piano or the harpsichord or the organ. If you've ever seen a piano, you might recognize that this glockenspiel right here looks pretty similar. So if you think about it, a piano has all the white keys that are on the bottom that are all right next to each other. And then up above those, there's the black keys, which are in a group of 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. So you can see that that's why these are known as keyboard percussion. So like I said, this one is called the glockenspiel. Maybe some of you have played a glockenspiel before. This one is a xylophone. A xylophone always has wooden bars. So in your music classrooms, you probably see a bunch of instruments with wooden bars called xylophones. And then you probably have a bunch with metal bars. Those are called metallophones. Let's take just a quick listen to this one. Flight of the Bumblebee. You might remember that one from the Brass Family discussion we had. Okay, so we also have this big thing here, which is called a marimba. So marimbas are like xylophones, except much bigger and have a much fuller tone here. So I'm going to show you one more video. This is my favorite video, maybe on the whole internet. These are a bunch of kids that are actually in a percussion ensemble class. That's after school. I think these kids are maybe between 3rd grade and 6th or 7th grade. I'm not sure, but I want to show you this one. These ones are from Louisville, Kentucky. They are playing a bunch of Led Zeppelin songs, rock and roll.
Ready, go.
great video. Okay, there is one more instrument here. These ones are called the tubular bells, sometimes called the chimes because they sound kind of like church bells. Let's take a listen. They're just a rack of metal tubes that you hit with a hammer.
Long sustained sound when you play. Bring the pedal up to dampen the sound. You can also use the hand that you're not playing with to dampen the chimes. You want to play on the very top edge to get the best sound on the chimes. You want to play with a great chime hammer. The Vic Firth chime hammer is...
Okay, now it's a commercial. Anyway, that, believe it or not, is going to do it for the percussion family and for every family of instruments in the orchestra. It has been a long journey, but you made it to the end, and I'm so glad that I could be along the journey with you. I hope you are all doing very well. Your teachers miss you very much. I miss you all very much, and I hope you're all hanging in there. I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye, everybody.